I'll jump right in to some of our first questions. This was for Chris Galarza. Chef Chris, do you publish the list of kitchens that you have certified? And if yes, can you provide those resources where you can find those?
Yeah, so we are actually in the middle of certifying some kitchens now. So we will be publishing those. And matter of fact, with our certification system, we are requiring benchmarking. So we'll be creating case studies that will live on our website free of charge as well. So anyone can take and learn and be able to use that for policy writing, to make it the case for, banks for loans or business partners, whatever the case is, and more importantly for education. So we don't have that up yet, but there's a lot that we're going to be announcing at the Net Zero conference in September in Anaheim. And we welcome anyone to be out there. We're going to be speaking. We have a booth, and yeah.
Great, thanks. And one more for you, Chef Chris, actually. Have you been seeing more acceptance from chefs from industry for induction cooking, from chefs, cooks, or is this still kind of a challenging effort that you're seeing day to day in different kitchens?
Yeah, well, this is definitely a challenging thing for the industry, uh, specifically in America. The rest of the world couldn't care less. China's developing woks, incredible woks, really, really quickly. In fact, they're even automating them. The Europeans have been cooking on induction for a while. In fact, every international culinary competition in the world is all electric. It's just specifically a North American thing. So we are doing a lot to address that, which is why we've developed EcoChef. EcoChef is our attempt at standardizing how we design, build, and operate commercial kitchens uh, that meet the demand of our 21st century consumers, right? And we do that through education, through certification, and through accreditation. So we are launching EcoChef Associate, Practitioner, and Culinarian certifications as early as January, where we'll be announcing a lot of that in September. And we are also partnering with a industry leading trade organization. I can't say exactly who just yet, to provide education to chefs and provide that accreditation to them. So we'll be tackling that. And we also developed a 13-week course and a 4-week course program to certify, or rather to to educate the incoming professionals, whether it be architects, engineers, sustainability, hospitality, even political science, and then they can carry a professional accreditation with them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And be sharing all of the slides and any information. So Chef Chris, if you want to include a brochure, any literature for that in the email that goes out, we can include that or a link in the chat to the EcoChef. So
Awesome.
let's see. This was asked during Michael Slater's presentation, but could be applicable to all speakers. And really quickly, do you have any handouts or flyers or brochures that building department staff or code enforcement staff could also even sustainability staff could share with the public in office spaces? If those are available, please share as well. Was a request. And for Michael and others, well, particularly for Michael, when you mentioned that induction and gas operating costs are equal, induction and gas operating costs are equal, are you accounting for increased space cooling loads in those calculations? And
You're muted.
I didn't get any audio from you.
Sorry. So, no, that's just at the appliance level. So it's Chef Chris had quoted like 35% efficiency at a range top for a gas range top, and you get about 90% out of an induction uh, wok. But you, or sorry, an induction cooktop. But you also get very, very little to no idle energy usage. So between having zero idle energy and zero energy waste when you take a pan off of the burner, and also getting a significant efficiency gain, you wind up coming out to about cost neutral going from gas to electric. You kind of eat up the 5 times more expensive fuel costs by saving 5 times the amount of energy. It's basically the only um, one-for-one gas to electric replacement where you actually can get savings without having to do any other like operating changes.
And if I could add, there's also need to factor in water consumption, energy consumption, chemical purchasing, the labor costs, you know, the amount of production, all those things. That's where the bulk of the savings for operations are going to be, outside of the energy consumption.
Yeah, totally agreed. I'm just,
Oh,
you
for
know,
sure, for sure, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it sounds
that's
like
what that number meant. That's the cost parity that I'm talking about, is just if you put a meter on the appliance, that's what it'll say.
yeah. Yeah, it sounds like kind of one for one energy savings with the energy efficiency of the induction, but all of the cost savings, you know, downstream that you would see from other co-benefits, you know, seem great too. So thanks for adding that, Chris. And similarly, Michael and others, do you see any cost savings projections for electrification? Is that inclusive of any projections for PG&E or other investor-owned utilities, rate increase projections, or is that kind of just everything?
So for numbers that we've sort of included on this slide, we've simplified everything. There are some design guides on our website where we've taken, and I'll link to the EnergyWise website, which also is going to include some of the handouts that were asked earlier. But yeah, we've used rate projections for kind of more like technical documents, but not for these slides in particular now.
I can maybe speak a little bit to that. So yes, rates are a challenge. Heat pump water heaters, for example, is one of the best opportunities where we can go from efficiencies of gas systems, say, in the 60 or 70% range for a gas water heater, to an efficiency of 400%, let's say, for a heat pump water heater. So maybe we can leap 5 times the energy savings in terms of the efficiency side. But the challenge is the price of gas per unit of energy and the price of electricity per unit of energy currently are closer to 8 times apart. So even though you have this really efficient heat pump water heater, we are still going to be paying more to operate that heat pump water heater than you are that gas water heater. That same challenge is going to be, if you're just looking from an energy cost standpoint, will be there for cooking appliances as well. So you do have to really leverage all these additional benefits of this equipment. For example, in cooling and dehumidifying your kitchen with the heat pump, and cleanup, as Chef Galarza was speaking to. So to kind of really develop that parity or maybe even savings ultimately from this equipment.
Yeah.
Great, thanks, Amin. And we're at 10:32. There's I think 1 or 2 more questions in the chat or in the Q&A function. So if any of the speakers want to add to that, but we will stop here for a break and come back